So I am going to come back and finish what I was going to say, but it's going to be a bonus, going to be separate, all that kind of good stuff. So welcome back. Many of you know I journal a lot and that I use Astro-Numerology to help me journal and to get things out. It also helps me reflect on the day, reflect on things that are going on, all that kind of good stuff. And so I want to, earlier I kind of reviewed some of the things that happened last week. Like I went and talked about February 4th and Aries and Venus and Jupiter and Gemini. I talked about that in one of the other videos. I won't go deep into that. Because what I want to talk about is the 7th. So last Friday, or this past Friday, however you want to look at that. So this past Friday was the 7th of February. The 7th of February, that day came up to a 9. So either you're looking at it as 2 plus 7, which is 9, because February is a 2 month, it's an 11-2, or you're counting across 2 plus 7 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5. I have that written down in my other one, but it comes down to, I want to say 16 equaling 7. And so you would look at all of that and sorry, not 16 equals 7, it would be 18 equals 9. And so for a 9 day, I kind of want to go over a 9 day because we're in a 9 year. Some of these will be the same as if you're in a 9 day or a 9 year. And then talk about one of the aspects, one of the transits. Even as I talk about one of the aspects and transits, I do have to say, as a person that has been trained in what I've been trained in, you can't take anything with just one aspect or one transit. I am going to talk about the numerology and the specific transit because together they say something. So a day of 9. Now this one is from Helping Yourself in Numerology by Helene Hitchcock. This book is written in the 70s. I've lost this book and reordered it. I think I lost it on a plane before. And so I love this book. But anyway, so 9 is a day of goodwill. It's a day to arrange speeches or speechcraft. That's what I call that. National Day of Advertisement. It's a day to be selfless. It's a day of tolerance, a day of brotherly love, a day of advertising. A day of achievement, I mean. Business can be conducted by telephone or telegraph. Like I said, it's an older book, but telephone or telegraph. And as well as personal contact. 11 day tells you, sorry, not 11 day, a 9 day tells you to be selfless, express talents, promote love. Keep in mind the idea of promoting love and brotherhood, because that's really one of the big key aspects and elements of that day and of what I'm going to talk about with that day. Sorry, I had some windows that are popping up telling me to close them. So that's a big aspect of that day. Also, we're in a 9 year, so I want to read from one more numerologist that talks about the 9, and then I'm going to come back. So 9 is a day, year, month, however you're in there, of completions, culminations, celebrations, releases, and endings. Finish what you started 8 years ago. Be of service, compassion, release beliefs and beliefs that are keeping you in old behaviors. A testing year of courage and strength. It's all about endings. Guard against feeling discouraged and dissipated emotionally, and guard against resisting the urge to let go. So let go, right? A day of brotherly love, a day of letting go. So on that day, and on the transit I specifically want to talk about, on that day, the 7th, we had a transit, when I say we, all of us had it, of the Northnode in Pisces, conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And like I said, I see all of these as archetypes. The Northnode is your life, path, and purpose. Neptune, I call that the dream or the great awakening of your life. Pisces is all about using your imagination. It should be healing, but imagination, healing, all that kind of good stuff goes with that. April Kent from Transits for Beginners, she talks about Neptune in Pisces as this. The dream of Neptune in Pisces is that the whole world is one. Those who I was raised Christian, and so the life and times of Jesus, there are people that will talk about, well, that was in the age of Pisces, in the Piscean age. So a lot of the things that go with what I would say the things that go with Jesus are same things that go with the idea of Pisces. So the world is one. Nations will come together in peace, and a cure is found for all the world's ills. But this transit can be characterized by denial of inconvenient reality, increased xenophobia, and a culture that blames the disadvantage for being a drain on society. This can be and mean disillusionment for Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sag. It could be a spiritual awakening for Cancer and Scorpio. It could be a spiritual quest for Taurus and Capricorn. And my son is in Leo, and I was left out. So I want to talk about xenophobia really quick. Xenophobia is the fear or hatred of people or things that are perceived as foreign or strange. It can also manifest as prejudice, hostility, or exclusion of people based on their perceived status as outsiders. I bring that up because, of course, that was brought up earlier. And so on that day, on last week, on the 7th of February, we had the Northnode in Pisces conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So life, path, and purpose conjunct the dream of your life in let's take care of the whole world. Another author, The Universe is Wise and Loving, by Nadia Shah, she writes about that specifically, North Node and Neptune. She writes about it as when transiting Neptune conjuncts the natal North Node, which is just the North Node for everyone, a near miraculous direction can open up. Our own spiritual prowess and psychic juice go on high. We might have an ability to attract new people at this time. These new people could be characterized as spiritual teachers, gurus, artists, actors, healers, mystics, and medics, or one person that holds many of those roles. Why is Kim talking about this? Because on that day, there was a headline, and you can read the headline. The headline says, the president announces announcements to the White House Faith Office. I do not have any thoughts, beliefs, opinions about the White House Faith Office. I find it interesting that it happened on the same day, was signed on the same day as this transit, a transit that's characterized by spiritual teachers, gurus, artists, actors, healers. And then the article goes on to talk about who Pastor Paula White Cain will return to the White House as the special government employee and senior advisor of the newly created White House Faith Office. Years ago, I went to a church in Tampa, Florida called Without Walls. And Paula White and her then husband were the pastors of that church. I went there while I was TDY for Operation Enduring Freedom. And so that was a whole different time in my life. That was 2000. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. I can't even pretend to tell you. But yes, so Paula White is one of them. Then there's Jennifer S. Korn. I don't know who that is. Will return to the White House as a deputy assistant to the president and faith director of the newly created White House Faith Office. And then there's Jackson Lane, who will join the White House as special assistant to the president and deputy director of faith engagement after serving as the deputy director of faith outreach. And so as I read that, and as I read some of the things that go with Neptune and Pisces, then I also say and even have a prayer that this house or whoever it is that are working in these positions, that they are on the high side of that. The high side, now I remind you, the high side of that is, of Neptune and Pisces is, they believe the whole world is one. A nation will come together in peace. There'll be a cure for the world's ills, right? That's the high side. The low side of that is, but this transit has been characterized by denial of an inconvenient reality and increased xenophobia and a culture that blames the disadvantage for being a drain on society. And once again, xenophobia is fear, hatred of people or things that are perceived as foreign or strange, manifesting as prejudice, hostility, or exclusion of people. And so I also have a prayer. I have a prayer that any new office of any kind in our land is the kind that brings all people together, regardless of their status. I talked earlier and in the last two videos about the A in DEIA, accessibility, because I am a mother, a parent of a son with high functioning autism. And I want to know that I'm living in a country and living in a place where my son and people like him are not going to be blamed as disadvantages and then set out, you know, someplace else. So that's part of my prayer. That's part of my meditation. I don't live in fear. People have asked me about that. How are you not afraid right now? I don't live in fear. I don't live in fear. I am one person that believes in something bigger than myself. I think we all believe in that differently, but I do believe in something bigger than myself. So then I have to believe that there is a place where we all will come together and that we all will be at peace. Now, I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know if that's even possible, right? But I have to believe that if I'm a part of it, and I will say that when I'm a part of things, is to bring everyone together, right? And so I had a hard time thinking about coming forward with what I saw, but this was in my journal as the literal transit, and then an example of that transit happened that exact same day. I found that to be wow, and I just kind of wrote that down. I wrote multiple pages of notes about that, and that I will watch as this unfolds over the next months to years. So I hope you're all blessed, and I hope you are all agents of positive change that brings everyone together. And I believe and I pray that is what we actually seek. Our higher purpose is to bring everyone together. Have a great night. It's my last video for today. I'm not coming on again. Have a good one, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.